And welcome back to Sunday Square Off. President Trump's immigration deal is getting a cold reception from Dreamers and their advocates. Meantime, the clock is ticking down to the expiration of the DACA program, which shields the young undocumented immigrants from deportation and also allows them to work here. The president ordered the Obama-era program phased out by March 5th, and that is just 5 weeks away. Joining us are Karina Ruiz of the Arizona Dream Act Coalition and immigration attorney Ray Ibarra-Maldonado. Good to see you both. Karina, the president has said all kinds of things about the Dreamers in the past. He has, a while back, threatened to deport the Dreamers. He has said, you're going to like what we do. What is he saying to you with this deal?
He's saying that he doesn't respect the dignity of us, that he doesn't care about our well-being, and he's quite frankly, this proposal is trash to me. I don't want to take a deal and sacrifice my parents and my communities. These are human beings, mothers, fathers. These are not just anything that we're talking about here.
Okay, explain that, because the focus is on the Dreamers. You're a Dreamer yourself. You have DACA. Where do your parents fit into this, in that plan the president put out?
They want to have restrictions for my parents and people like my parents to be able to become legalized in the near future. And that's not going to solve the problem. The government knows there's 11 million undocumented immigrants, and you cannot just give protection to 1.8 and put the others at risk. That's not responsible. That's a talk that's broader. I believe the president himself said it. That's a phase 2 for comprehensive immigration reform. The truth is he created a crisis with taking away the DACA program. That's what he has done so far. He has created a crisis with young immigrants, and Congress needs to fix it, and they need to fix it now. They know that the solution has a name, and it is a DREAM Act.
Ray, talk about that March 5th deadline, because I said it's just 5 weeks away, but in a lot of ways, it's here already, isn't it?
Oh, no, it's happening already. One, you're having the fear of people not reapplying because they don't know what the administration is going to do with their information.
Even though courts have put a stay on the president's order and is allowing them to reapply.
Right, but we don't know how long this is going to last. It also could come down to the Supreme Court anytime next month. No, nobody can reapply again. So it's really an impossible deadline to put out there because people are already losing their status. If you have DACA, you're still subject to possibly being deported. So we have to act now, not till March 5th.
And we often hear these are kids, but these aren't kids. These are adults with families and even homes.
I was once a teenager, and I was waiting for that solution, and I have HA, and we have been dealing with this for 17 years. And for Congress to tell us that they need 3 more weeks, it is unacceptable. There's already people right now, there's different cases. I know of Luis Renteria, that he was detained and he was beaten by an ICE agent. So again, there's people right now that could qualify for the DREAM Act, that are in detention centers, and that they could be deported any minute. So we need to act. Congress need to pass the DREAM Act sooner rather than later.
And what happens, Ray, if nothing happens by March 5th?
If nothing happens by March 5th, we're going to see the continued uncertainty and depression from these young people who are active members of our community. It's very clear by what President Trump put out. That's a white supremacist agenda. I'm very comfortable in saying that. People on the far right have been asking for a long time to get rid of family-based immigration, to get rid of the diversity visas, because they want to stop people of color from being able to adjust their family or more people to come into the country. It's absolutely unacceptable, and we should not put up with it.
And Karina, your group has been putting pressure on the Democrats back in December when there was a threatened shutdown, and then just a week or so ago when there was another threatened shutdown, to use that as leverage. Have the Democrats let you down?
Yes, they did. We were so close. We thought we had the deal, and they backed down. And quite honestly, it was very disappointing. But the community is going to continue to fight. We made this possible. They're talking about DACA not because politicians decided to do it, but because immigrants like myself decided to go and take over their offices and make our voices heard.
All right, 5 weeks to go. Ray Ibarra-Maldonado, Karina Ruiz, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having us.
Now to our tweet of the week related to the conversation we just had. Republican Congressman Paul Gosar of Flagstaff posting a series of tweets like this one that he labeled "Getting to Know DACA-Aged Illegals." They account for over 15% of all Arizona manslaughters, he tweeted, with the hashtag DACA Trojan horse. That's kind of similar to what Kelly Ward was saying just a segment ago. It suggests DACA recipients are criminals in waiting. In fact, and I repeat, in fact, according to a conservative think tank, Dreamers have a much, much lower incarceration rate than native-born Americans of the same age and education level. This is a factually incorrect slur we've been hearing a lot of lately. Not much different from saying this. Arizona members of Congress aged Americans account for 80% of all inmates on Arizona's death row. Therefore, they must be a threat to end up on death row. No, not really. Every election year, immigration becomes the issue. This year, it looks like, is no different. When we come back, are Arizona prisons the prisons we pay for, letting inmates die? Stay with us.